In the flickering shadows of 16th century Japan, one name struck more terror into the hearts of warriors than any army: Hattori Hanzo. He was the Devil Hanzō, a man who blurred the lines between the honorable samurai and the lethal ninja, serving as the silent blade behind the man who would eventually unify Japan. To understand the legend, we must first look at the blood and ash into which he was born. Hattori Hanzo entered the world around 1542 in the Kawa province. While he is often remembered as a native of the secretive mountain province of Iga, he was actually born in the service of the Matsudaira clan, the family that would later become the world-renowned Tokugawa. However, his roots were firmly planted in the soil of Iga. His father, Hattori Yasunaga, was a minor samurai who hailed from that rugged region, a place where unconventional warfare wasn't just a tactic, it was a way of life. Growing up during the Sengoku Jidai, or the Age of Warring States, meant that Hanzo's childhood was not defined by play, but by the relentless pursuit of mastery. By the age of 8, he was already training in the mountains of Kurama, north of Kyoto. Legend says he spent years practicing the arts of the shinobi: stealth, climbing, poisons, and the psychology of fear. But unlike the pop culture image of a ninja hiding in the rafters, Hanzo was also a fully realized samurai. He was trained in the art of the spear and the sword, destined to lead men on the open battlefield just as easily as he could slip through a locked window in the dead of night. His true rise to prominence began at the tender age of 16. Most teenagers of that era were barely considered men, but Hanzo was already proving his worth on the battlefield. During a night raid on Uzumi Castle in 1558, he displayed a level of tactical genius and raw courage that caught the eye of his young lord, Matsudaira Motoyasu, the man we now know as Tokugawa Ieyasu. This was the beginning of a bond that would change the course of Japanese history. Hanzo wasn't just a servant, he was the shadow that ensured Ieyasu's light would never be extinguished. As the years progressed, Hanzo's reputation for ferocity grew. He earned the nickname Oni no Hanzo, or the Devil Hanzo. This wasn't because he was evil, but because of his relentless, almost supernatural persistence in battle. There is a famous story from the Battle of Anegawa in 1570. In the heat of a brutal clash against the Azai and Asakura clans, Hanzo led a group of Iga warriors into the thick of the fighting. His presence was so overwhelming and his spear work so precise that enemy soldiers reportedly threw down their weapons, convinced they were fighting a demon in human form. But being a legend required more than just killing. It required loyalty. In 1579, a tragedy struck the Tokugawa family that would test Hanzo's soul. Ieyasu's eldest son, Nobuyasu, was accused of treason by the powerful warlord Oda Nobunaga. To prove his loyalty and prevent the destruction of his clan, Ieyasu was forced to order his own son to commit seppuku, ritual suicide. Hanzo was appointed as the Kaishakunin, the second whose duty was to behead the prince after he disemboweled himself to end his suffering quickly. When the moment came, the fearsome Devil Hanzo broke. He collapsed in tears, unable to swing his sword against the son of his master. He stated through his sobs that a master and servant are like father and son, and he could not bring himself to harm his lord's flesh and blood. Instead of being executed for this disobedience, Ieyasu was moved by Hanzo's profound loyalty and compassion, famously remarking that even a demon can shed tears. However, the event that truly cemented Hattori Hanzo as a figure of history and myth occurred in 1582. This was the year of the Honnoji incident. Oda Nobunaga, the most powerful man in Japan, was betrayed and assassinated by his general, Akechi Mitsuhide. At the time, Tokugawa Ieyasu was staying in Sakai, near Osaka, with only a small handful of guards. He was essentially stranded in enemy territory, with Mitsuhide assassins closing in from every direction. The path back to Ieyasu's home province was blocked by hostile armies and treacherous terrain. Ieyasu contemplated suicide, believing his end was inevitable. It was Hanzo who stepped forward. He told his lord that there was a way through the rugged, lawless mountains of Iga and Koka. This was Hanzo's home turf. He utilized his deep connections with the local ninja clans, men who owed him or his family debts of honor. For days, Hanzo led Ieyasu through narrow mountain passes, dodging patrols and navigating through dense forests. He organized hundreds of local Iga and Koka warriors to act as a private security force, escorting the future shogun through a gauntlet of death. When they finally reached the safety of the coast and sailed back to Mikawa, Ieyasu knew he owed his life entirely to Hanzo. Without that desperate trek through the Iga Mountains, the Tokugawa shogunate would never have existed. The Edo period, 2.5 centuries of peace, would have been a dream lost to the winds of war. In recognition of the service, when Ieyasu eventually took control of the country and established his capital in Edo, modern-day Tokyo, Hanzo was given a position of immense responsibility. He was made the commander of the palace guard, specifically leading the Iga masters who protected the inner sanctum of the shogun. To this day, one of the main gates of the imperial palace in Tokyo is known as the Hanzoman, or Hanzo's Gate. This was where his residence stood, positioned strategically so that he would be the first line of defense against any assassin attempting to reach the shogun. Hanzo's later years were spent in a mixture of military administration and spiritual reflection. He became a monk in his final years, taking the name Sainen, and funded the construction of the Sainenji Temple. He built this temple to honor the memory of Crown Prince Nobuyasu, the boy he couldn't bring himself to execute years earlier. It is here that Hanzo was buried in 1596, alongside his favorite spear. This spear was a masterpiece of Japanese smithing, over 14 feet long, and weighted for a man of incredible strength. Even in death, he remained the guardian of the Tokugawa legacy. But the death of the man was only the birth of the mystery. After he passed, the name Hattori Hanzo didn't vanish. It became a hereditary title. His son and grandsons took the name, though none could ever quite fill the shadow he left behind. Because of this, the historical Hanzo began to merge with the supernatural. Stories began to circulate that he could disappear at will, that he could summon spirits to aid him in battle, and that he had mastered the art of kujikiri, or secret hand signs that could paralyze an opponent. In the centuries that followed, Hanzo became the ultimate archetype of the ninja. He appears in countless plays, novels, and films. From the legendary Shadow Warriors TV series to the modern-day portrayals in Kill Bill and various video games, he is the benchmark for the shadow samurai. But the real mystery lies in how much of the myth is based on reality. Did he really command a network of thousands of spies? Was he truly the most dangerous man in Japan? The historical record suggests that Hanzo was, above all else, a bridge. He was the bridge between the old world of chaotic, honor-bound samurai warfare and the new world of intelligence gathering and covert operations. He proved that a warrior didn't have to choose between being a man of honor and a man of the shadows. He could be both. Hattori Hanzo's life ended before he could see the full fruits of his labor. He died before the Battle of Sekigahara, the final conflict that truly unified Japan under the Tokugawa banner. Yet his influence was felt in every corner of that new government. The intelligence networks he built became the foundation for the shogunate's secret police, ensuring that no rebellion could ever brew in the dark without the shogun knowing. He was a man who lived in the tension between two identities. As a samurai, he was a leader of men, a master of the spear, and a loyal vassal. As a ninja, he was a ghost, a master of the unseen, and a weaver of secrets. It is this duality that makes him so fascinating even 400 years later. We are drawn to the idea of the Devil Hanzō because he represents the hidden power we all wish we possessed, the ability to move through the world unseen, but with enough strength to change it forever when we choose to step into the light. His legacy isn't just in the history books or the names of subway lines in Tokyo. It is in the very survival of the Japanese state during its most volatile era. Without the shadow, The sun of the Tokugawa would have set before it ever rose. Hattori Hanzo remains the ultimate guardian, the silent protector, and the legend of the Shadow Samurai. Subscribe.